hello, my dear teacher,
Hello.
Mingin, who is joining me today from Australia. I'm so excited to have you.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here, Juliet. Thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness, this is such an honor for me. You are a rock star in my eyes. I just finished the training with you and Liz, and I learned so much from you all. And I'm so honored that I get to share this knowledge with my viewers and audience, and so they can get a little tool, it's and bits of information and change their lives and maybe even work with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're first time joining my channel, I'm all about mindset, all about spirituality, money, spirituality, learning new things, and I love sharing that. And Amy is a business coach. She has the magic touch to turn businesses into 6 7 figures and more, and
Yes.
she's also the master NLP trainer, and I had the privilege to spend 100 hours with her. And I want to talk about money mindset.
Awesome.
It's huge. I was researching on Dr. Google. I typed how many self-made millionaires in America. Do you want to know the number? It's
Tell me.
outstanding. We are like 300 million population, right? Only 26 million. And the only difference between those and us, because right now I'm not a millionaire yet, mindset.
Yes. Yes.
How simple is that?
Super
Fear
simple.
of success. I can't do it. Limited beliefs. Information about how to utilize your services. How does money work? Like, we don't teach that in school in America. You know, we learn from our parents. I totally learned from my parents, and nothing worked until now.
Yeah.
And I would love for you to, as an NLP coach and the business coach, because you are master of language and setting all these limiting beliefs aside and make your clients go from 0 to 10 in such short time. I would love for you to share this with everybody.
Yeah, okay, I would love to. And let's start first of all with the concept of abundance, because abundance to one person might mean abundance that's different to somebody else. And often the best example I come up with is like, imagine that you're in a forest and you look around and you notice how many different species of flower there is, how many species of plant there is, how many mushrooms are on the ground or on the logs, how many little birds are flying around, how many lizards are on the ground, how many different species of multiple different flora and fauna are around you at any one time. That's abundance. That's one example of.
Yeah.
And it's always here. And here's the thing with money. People keep putting money outside of themselves. They keep saying, oh, that person has so much money, and they have belief systems set up around, if someone has money, then that means insert whatever it means to that person. So some people will have really positive beliefs. Oh, if that person has money, then that means that they're changing lots of lives. If that person has money, then that means that they have great experiences. If that person has money, then that means that they get to experience some luxury compared to what their previous life was. Then you hear the other end of the spectrum. Oh, well, if they've got money, then that must mean that they're greedy. Who possibly needs that much money? Don't we only just need enough? Like, all of these different belief systems are thrown around about money at any one time. And the beautiful, beautiful process that I take people through is holding the perception of what money thinks about us. Like, has anyone ever considered how money feels? That there's all these people sometimes utilizing, sometimes worshiping, sometimes devoting their lives to it, sometimes doing all these beautiful things with money for the people, for the world. And then other times money's being utilized in a really not so nice way.
Mm-hmm.
Yet money shows up anyway. Money is always there. Whenever anyone is calling it in, it always shows up. And it might be, what's the smallest coin that you guys have in your currency?
Penny.
A penny. It might be a penny. For us, it's a 5-cent piece. So Australians listening, 5 cents, you find it on the road. Some people don't pick it up. They're like, it's only 5 cents. Or for you guys, some people might not pick a penny up. It might just be like, it's just a penny. The universe, and get this point, really, really important. The universe has zero care about whether it's a penny or 5 cents or whether it's $100 million that it sends your way. All of it is abundance. All of it is a gift. All of it is worthwhile you picking up and saying, I'm so grateful right now. This is so exciting. This just came to me. What a gift. Imagine how life would change if every single person started utilizing that form of gratitude with every single penny. And that's a mindset technique that you could start right now. Like, I want to make sure, and I want to pre-frame this, that every single person who listens today will finish this podcast episode and have so much motivation to change their money mindset. In fact, it's probably already happened from what I've already said. And so now, how many people are going to go out there and be super grateful for the money that lands in their bank account? How many people will be super grateful for paying other people for services? Like, have you ever been so grateful that someone's helped you and you're like so excited to pay that person because it's like, oh my gosh, they've just helped me so much, and you pay them, and it's the best reciprocation. And to define what reciprocation is, it's the giving and the receiving. You know, they often say with gifts, it's better to give than to receive. Well, I'm the believer of it's both. It's always both. And it works so beautifully well. We're here to give and to receive.
Yeah, every time I write my check, I always put a little smiley face and a heart next to my signature.
I love that.
My landlord might think that I'm a little cuckoo, but I'm so grateful I get to live in a place, you know.
Absolutely. And it's so, so powerful. Like, I had this friend who used to mail me gifts from time to time, and always on the outside of the bag that she'd posted in, it would say, thank you, postman, for delivering this.
Exactly.
So she was just thanking everyone within the process.
Exactly.
So I wonder, like, people with their money mindset, some people aren't even really sure what money mindset is. Some people do not even know where to begin. And so that's why I wanted to start around the gratitude piece and to bring into your awareness that it's always there, that abundance is always available, and it's our beliefs, it's our at sometimes limiting beliefs, because every belief is limiting in a way, and it's okay to have them so long as you're being aware of what you're utilizing them for. So for example, setting a money goal, let's say, okay, I'm going to have $1 million in my business in the next year. Great. I love that money goal. And it's limiting, because what if you could have 10 million? It's actually okay. Do your 1 million first, and then it's okay to go beyond and go to 10 million. You know what I mean? So it's like every belief, every goal we set is limiting. And as long as we're aware of it, we can move through it. So
yeah, continue.
I want you to think back, and I think this will be a really great one for when we were younger. Like, think back to when you were a kid and the sorts of conversations you would hear between your parents or even your grandparents. And so a lot of these, like where you said the fear of success, some people, it's the fear of lacking. They're just going, I don't want to go without, so therefore I'm going to hold on to everything that I have. So their reciprocation, their circulation that's going on in their life is very, very stagnant, because they're trying to hoard all of it in one spot instead of going, okay, this is a great investment. This is investing in me. This is investing in who I am and where I want to be. And they're missing the point of what money wants to be utilized for. It's an energetic exchange.
Absolutely. For me, my wake-up call was when I was doing my taxes. Every year we pay quarterly. For the following year, we pay in advance. And I was talking to my accountant. I said, how do you know I'm going to make the same money? Like, you're giving me, you're giving me this, quote unquote, you're making the number up, like I need to pay that. And she said, it's a science that if you're making 50, government knows that you're still going to make 50. So it made me realize, okay, if there's a paradigm that my brain is so, my consciousness, my programming is so used to make, let's say, $50,000. You don't make less than, you always make 50 and you never make more.
That's
and
right.
This was my reality.
Mm-hmm.
And then I start digging in. I'm like, why am I not making more than 50? And I had no idea what was stopping me until I've done the training. And it was very discomforting in me. I've been doing so much work and still not getting out of that. This is it. I guess I'm gonna settle. And then I would have nightmares as a single mom. How am I gonna provide for my kids? What's gonna happen when I'm old? What if I can't work? Like, this fear takes over. I can feel the chemical change in my physical body, and I would be paralyzed and not be able to function.
Mm-hmm.
And for those, I know there are people out there like me. And
absolutely.
Yes. And for those people, what would you recommend today they can take action and change the paradigm?
Yeah. It starts with getting real with yourself. Instead of worrying about what happened in the past or what might happen in the future, like, be real and be certain and specific with who you are right now and what's happening right now. So what I would say is, if somebody's in debt, to find out exactly how much they're in debt. If somebody has so much in savings, find out exactly how much you have in savings. How much do you have in your everyday normal account? How much money do you have coming in? Like, do a complete overhaul of exactly where you're at. Because a lot of the time, as soon as you've done that, you feel better. You're like, oh, is that it?
Most of the time, I go on my bank statement. I'm like, I don't want to find out, but I know what you measure grows. Now I'm different. This was old me.
Yeah, I get it though. I get it, because it's old programs. It's totally okay. Yeah.
Now I used to be scared of going to my mailbox because I always expected bills.
Yeah.
And I made a commitment. Now I go to my mailbox every day. And now it's easy. And then I would have a check or something, or find a dime on the street. I appreciate everything. So
that's it.
Yeah. And it's just going to get better from this point on, because if you're in zero, there is no more down. The only way is up.
That's exactly right. And it's like, okay, even if you found out that you're $10,000 in debt, then you can take the steps to be debt free.
Yes.
As opposed to running away from the debt, ignoring the debt, pretending the debt's not there, not opening the letter because the letter's saying that you've got debt. Can you imagine how much more extra energy is taken up by avoiding? It's so much easier to take action.
Inside, I was dying slowly until I faced it. It was the hardest year of my life. I had anxiety. I was stuck. I did not know where to go, where to look. And I found the solution. I'm so happy now. I'm like, I can't stop smiling now. And now this is exactly why I want to share this with everybody. I want to talk about your coaching.
Yeah.
How do you take someone from a regular business who makes $50,000 a year to 6-figure, 7-figure? What is the magic? What do they get? What's the zhuzh that you add on to their lives? I want to know, how can someone
superpower
work with you? What's the superpower? Like, yes.
So I'd say my superpower is being able to energetically feel the person first and foremost. So I automatically know where someone's at. And then I ask them questions based on that. And so I ask them to put everything out. All right, so what are all of your offers? What are you currently doing? What strategies are you using? What are you hiding from? What are you afraid of saying? Get everything out. So all their so-called good and bad traits, everything out. And out of that, then we clear up the emotional stuff. So if there is some shadow things that are sitting there that are limiting them, because here's the big secret. In every single business, that main business owner is always the bottleneck of their business. So things want to move naturally forward, and the person goes and stands themselves right there. And often all they've got to do is just move a little bit so there's a flow.
Yeah.
And then they've got something to look at, as opposed to feeling so in it and feeling overwhelmed about it. So what I do is I give them a different perspective. And the power of a different perspective is being able to zoom out and go, oh, wow, this is actually what's happening. And then I help them put all their puzzle pieces together so it feels in alignment for them, and then help them put together their packages, their programs in an aligned amount of money that they would like to receive for their services.
So you open
and that's about giving them the opportunity to then stand and say, hey, everyone, this is who I am. This is what I do. And most importantly, this is the clincher for every business owner, is them getting to know what problems do they solve for people? What results can they help people get? That's the big one, because sometimes people don't know how to answer me when I ask them that. So it takes a little bit of, coaxing and pulling a few things and figuring it out, and then, figuring out what worked for you in the past. Okay, what was the really easy way that you made money? And often they've just brushed that aside. They're like, oh, but that's really easy. Well, that's actually where your money is. Telling people that advice for free is actually where your money maker is. And that's probably what you could be charging $10,000 for.
Yeah.
And they're like, what?
You're basically showing them their gifts.
Absolutely. And then it's about helping them catapult, like go really, really fast in the direction they want to go.
Yeah.
So the people who are ready to move fast, they're the ones who I work with really, really well. And they're the ones that go from like $12,000 up to $96,000 in a month.
Amazing.
Really fast movers. Yeah.
That chills. So I know you're super busy. You have many, many clients. Also, you have all your students. You have trainings coming up. You have retreats. Everything is going on. But I heard that you have a group program starting soon, the Abundance Code. I want to talk about Abundance Code. I would love for everyone to know more about it. I'm going to put details below this video. Can you tell us who is it for?
Yes.
Who is it? How long? Tell us everything.
Yes, I would love to. Okay, so the Abundance Codes, it is for people who are getting started in their business and they're really ready to move forward faster. So for the people who maybe aren't quite at their $10,000 month yet, maybe they haven't had their first $10,000 month. And what I often see is health practitioners and healers and people who are amazing at what they do. And it's about them figuring out how do they portray that to their audience so their audience wants to work with them. So the Abundance Codes, it came to fruition from me looking back at my past and going, how have I done this? Like, how have I actually figured out my keys to my success? And who is that few steps behind me who I can help come forward towards where I am? And who is it that is seeing all the abundance, yet they're unsure of how to actually receive it? And that's what the Abundance Codes is about. It's about, first of all, the awareness that abundance is there. And most people already know it. That's the beauty of it. It's already there. It's the next step of them going, okay, how does abundance feel within me? How is my connection with money? How is my energetic connection with my business? And helping them get into full alignment with that. So we're helping to integrate negative emotions, limiting beliefs, helping them to really step into their full potential. So it's a connection to higher self and connection to their future self. So a really great anchoring process to help them step forward. And then also it's about showing up for their people with an overflow, because that's true abundance, right? It's an overflow. It's how do you fill your own cup so much that people notice your overflow and they want to work with you. So there's client attraction methods. I also talk about how to market yourself and how to actually make money. But that's the big thing. The Abundance Codes itself, the codes is how do you actually make money? There's a lot of people, like you said, we don't get taught this stuff. This is stuff that, like, it's an experiment. One business person one time figured out a code. Oh, that's how you do that sale. And another person was like, how did you do that? Oh, this is how you do it. And it's been passed on and passed on. And then different people have danced with it and found, like, I would say mine's the perfect balance between spirituality and business, between the masculine and the feminine, and when to be able to step into each of them with ease rather than it feel like they're pulling apart all the time. Because when I speak to women, particularly women in business, they might have kids, they might have partners, maybe they have fur babies, whatever it is. They're often feeling like while they're in their business, they should be doing something else. Or when they're doing something else, they should be in their business. And I can teach you how to do both, because it's actually a dance. There's the whole fallacy of work-life balance. It's an absolute fallacy. Like, it actually does, the word balance doesn't really exist. Like, even when you look out in nature, there is no balance in nature. The balance occurs when there's the pendulum that swings back and forth. That's balance. So how can one in her business, in her spirituality, do both? And that's what I'm teaching in the abundance codes.
Yes. I always think of an oak tree. Comes from a seed like this, and then it grows. Do you think it says, oh, okay, I grew 6 feet, I'm going to stop there? No.
No way.
So I want to be that oak tree, and I choose not to stop myself. And I want to grow. Yeah. And that's our nature. We are here to enjoy life, enjoy this human experience, and filled with joy and money and luxury and vacations and good food and sex and relation, like everything. Everything. It's great. How long is the training, or how long is the course? Yeah, so the abundance codes goes for 12 weeks. 4 weeks and 12 weeks. 12 weeks. Yeah. So I bring my team in with it. I have a lot of beautiful, energetic women who work with me. So 2 other coaches will be coming in, sharing their gifts, holding space in the container. Most of the sessions will be held with me leading, and they will lead some of their specific processes as well, which is so, so beautiful. And there is the option as well to join us for our NLP trainings. So anyone who's listening can definitely do both. And I have a special offer for people who want to do both. So it's amazing. 12 weeks is live or it's recorded? How do they? Both. Yeah. And 12 weeks, do you guys meet weekly? Yes, weekly. And do you have a limit, or is it open to anyone who has a computer? It'll be open to anyone with a computer. Yeah. I find that the most common person who is attracted to this type of program is a mom in business or a woman in business. They're my most common people who want to work with me, and I'm totally open to other people if they come in out of the ether and they're like, hey, this is the program. Great. Of course, I'll work with them. So it's really, this is helping people catapult themselves forward. When is it starting? Energetically, spiritually, and with money. When is it starting? It is starting in a couple of weeks. So in the middle of August. We don't have a date yet, but the 7, hang on, I've got it right in front of me. So it's after that, Wednesday, 16th of August. August 16, I have to put it on my calendar. How long is the trainings when you meet in Zoom? Yeah, so it'll be between 1 and 2 hours. So depending on how large the container gets, so we want to make sure that people can all have a chat. So I say at least 1 hour, and it could go out to 2. Amazing. And I'm assuming you will have a group that they can chat. It's a great community builder as well. Everyone can help each other. Absolutely. Absolutely. Everyone who comes on the call gets to ask questions, gets to experience the learnings and the processes of the container, and then as well be able to do their work in between the calls as well. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Is there anything else would you like to share with the audience? I understood everything you said, and I am done with my questions. Oh, great. That's perfect. Well, what's the other thing? Like, I really want to make sure that everyone gets so much value from this particular interview. And I think that the most important thing with your money mindset is, yes, take stock of where you are, like find out, be really real with yourself, and then take action on that and be really grateful for every single nickel, dime, penny that comes into your account, everything that you find,
everything that you notice, be really, really grateful for it. And then you could bring more of that into your existence by journaling each day. So who are you and what do you have and what are you doing? So what are you being, doing, and having every single day? Because here's the thing. In NLP, we talk about this a lot. We have an unconscious mind and a conscious mind, and then we have our higher self. So it's like 3 different minds.
Yeah.
And our higher self is in its perfection. So it's us at our highest potential. Whatever you ask your higher self, it's always going to be positive. It's always a positive thing. It's always, yes, of course, you know how to have perfect health. Yes, of course, you know how to be rich. Yes, of course, you know how to be famous, whatever the thing is that you really, really want, right? Yes, of course, you're beautiful. And your unconscious mind, it's a bit like a child. It's very naive, very happy to go with the flow, takes everything personally. So I wonder if you were to start talking to your unconscious mind and reprogramming it daily, how would you want to speak to it, particularly about money? So if money has been a problem for you in the past and it's now a thing of the past and you're ready to rewrite your future, how do you now speak to yourself about money? And go through that process of what would money say to me right now? And reconnect your energy with money. And write a letter from money to you. Write a letter to money. Notice if there's anything that's out of the ordinary or anything that's different between those two. And then work your way towards having an energetic match to money.
Yeah.
So whatever you're feeling with money, whatever you received from money, match it. Today, I'm positive to talk to money. Today, I'm positive to receive money. Today, I feel great about money. And if you keep reprogramming, your unconscious mind goes, that's my new belief. Okay, we believe that. Okay, great. We believe that. We're positive about money. Money comes easily. Okay, great. That's all. Like, it sounds really simple. Like it actually sounds really simple. And it is.
It took me a minute to do all that.
Literally.
Yeah.
And so like feel the warmth in your heart of like how fulfilling and how wholesome that feels. It's like, oh, it was just a remembering the whole time. It's just a remembering.
And learning the linguistics about how I speak to myself day to day changed. And now how I speak to money changed. I feel super abundant. I feel so grateful for every dollar I have. You know what I do? Every day, I have a little notepad by my bed. I write down every single dollar that I received that day.
Great.
I have a big book that I do. Okay, this come from cash, this come from credit card. That's business. But this is for me. Before I go to bed, I'm like, wow, I made that today. I'm like, yay.
That's great.
Because what you measure grows.
Yes. You got it. And what you focus on grows. So like to bring it down to the itty bitty scientific level of what's actually happening in our brain and nervous system.
Yeah.
The programs that are occurring in our brain and nervous system are due to emotional events that have happened when we were young.
Yes.
So between the ages of 0 and 7, things occur. We remember in our unconscious mind, a whole bundle of neurons go, okay, we remember that. When that event happens, we fire these. Okay, cool. So it's actually really efficient. The problem is when that's based around a limiting belief, or when that's based around unwarranted anger, or that's based around unwarranted sadness. And then all of a sudden, things aren't really the way that we want it to be. And we're like, I don't get why, but I want that, but I feel like that, right? So here's the process. By changing the programs, the ways that you speak to yourself, changes your emotions. So guess what happens? Instead of it wiring here to these things that were negative, it's wiring here to these things that are positive. And it's like, oh yeah, we do positive now. We do positive now. We do positive now. And guess what happens? Naturally, you feel so much better. Naturally, you attract beautiful people into your life. Naturally, you're more abundant. Naturally, you do the things that your higher self wants you to do. and it all becomes a whole lot easier. So at a scientific level, your neural pathways actually change. Your neurotransmitters, which are the feel-good hormones, they change. Your emotional state changes. So therefore your life changes.
Right now, I'm doing the 6-week breakthrough program, and I'm helping my clients with specifically limiting beliefs around money.
Right.
We work on, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. One session, it's gone. So if you want to book a session, message me.
Yes.
I can help you with that. And yeah, the minute the energy changed around abundance in everything, not just my coaching business, but my other stuff, start getting calls and interviews, and I'm meeting people. Like, I can't stop smiling.
So great. I'm actually so proud of you. Like, you've just taken it and run, and you're helping so many people.
And it helps me.
100%.
I feel amazing. And I want to give this to everybody. I want everyone on the same boat.
Absolutely. I do too. I'm
Drink
with
the
you.
same Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
One of
100%.
one of my friends came over today and he said, "You look so radiant." I said, "Yes, drug of choice, NLP." It changed my life.
Yeah.
It changed my life. And money part was the missing part for me. Yeah. And now I know how to fix it, which is amazing. Now I get to go and do that.
Yeah, definitely. And you're helping so many people. Like, for each and every person who gets to work with you, you'll notice the ripple, because then they're going to go change it with somebody else. And then that person tells somebody else.
Yes.
And bit by bit by bit, the ripple goes out through the community, through the world. It's so like, my heart. It's so great. I love it.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
And sharing your gift with all of us. I will be posting everything on the descriptions, and you can find Amy and me through the links. We are here. This is so exciting.
Thanks, Juliet.
Mwah.
Mwah. It was great to be here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.